going to cut down my time in half. Now the tools that I'm going to be using today are pretty simple, and you could also get them at your nearest drugstore, pharmacy, or beauty supply store. So for simple starters, you would need nails with a stiletto square tip. You would need acrylic powder, acrylic liquid. You'll need a canister to put the acrylic liquid in, a nail brush, paper towel. This will be to wipe the acrylic liquid as you go along. This is a small emery board or lemon stick. People call them various things. Cuticle pusher. Nail files. I like using these square ones because it gets around the groove of the nail better, but I also buy these just in case. An emery board, buffing block, and also the glue, which I have to go get. Okay, so this is the glue I will be using. It's normally kept in the refrigerator to ensure it does not get hard or it doesn't go bad before its time. And also I'm going to be using some cotton pads. I normally use this or the cotton balls, whichever one you have will work fine. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is just using some of that acetone. Normally you use nail polish to do this, but you can use acetone as well. So you're just going to clean off the oils from your nail beds, and you're doing this on all of the fingernails. Okay, so I am not going to be doing all of the nails on camera. I am basically going to be doing one nail and then bringing all of it for you to see, because that's just going to cut down the time in half. So I pour the acrylic liquid into the container. I dip that brush into some acetone to take off anything that would have been on it prior to me using the brush. I'm using clear acrylic powder, which to me is better. I either use clear or pink because I really like the effect that I get from it. So you're just going to use that board and push down the sides of your cuticles like such. If your nails need to be cut, you do so using one of the emery boards. I am just going to file the side of the nail and the top of the nail. Then I go right over top of that nail and just further get rid of any oil that would be on the nail, and those ridges just help the nail and the glue to adhere much better. Now the only thing missing is primer for the nail, which I kept forgetting to buy, but I'm gonna let whatever I have do. For your nails, you basically want to ensure that it lines up with the nail that's going to be put on. And I'm holding it down so the excess will drain downwards, and holding the nail down, I'm just going to place that right onto the nail. Make sure it's lined up, and then just hold that down so that it can stick. Now, okay, so some of them were a bit too long. These are the natural lengths, and these are when I cut. So what I'm doing now is just reshaping the nail as it would have been before I cut it. So that way when I put on the acrylic, it's not going to look jagged or different. So this is the nail, and what I just do is I follow that natural shape of the nail. and I just go back filing along the ridges until I reshape it. Looking at both the left and the right to ensure that it's balanced out. Again, I am no pro. I've just sat and got my nails done for long enough, and a few years back I decided, well, hey, let me try to see if I do this, because to me, I'm a do-it-yourselfer, and if I can find a way to do it myself, which cuts down on not only the finances in doing it but also the time, then I do it. Okay, so this is the nail reformed. These three have been reformed and these two are yet to be reformed. So I'm just going to continue doing that, following the ridges, and rounding off the tops. Okay, so with my brush, I'm gonna drip it into the acrylic liquid, just wipe it off the tip, and then I'm gonna dip it into the powder. And I'm starting from the top, and I'm just placing the acrylic onto the nail and smoothing as I go. And in doing this process, I try to keep it as smooth as possible to minimize the amount of filing I will have to do afterwards, because I really don't want to have to be doing all that set of filing. So I prefer to do it properly while I am adding the acrylic to minimize the amount of work I have to do afterward. And this is basically what the nail looks like after the acrylic is placed before it is filed. Again, I try to do it as neat as possible to reduce the amount of filing that I will have to do after I put on the nail. So now I'm going to finish up all these babies and then these babies, and I'm going to get back to you. Then you're going to use your buffing block, starting with the most abrasive side, and you're just going to use that to buff out the nail. And you're doing it in the same motion that you would have done previously. Side of the nails, over the nails, under the nails. Then you're going to go to the second side, which is a bit smoother. Bring that up close a little for you to see. Then the third side, which is much smoother than the first two sides. And then the fourth side, which is the buffing, shining part of it. Then I put some cuticle oil on the nail. And I rub that in. I do this on all the fingers. And then you let it soak a bit, and then you're gonna wash. Get these pretty little beauties ready for some polish. So now that our pretty paws have been washed, buffed, and cleansed, time for some polish. Polish, polish, polish. So the first step is going to be your base coat. And this is going to be applied on every single last one of your nails. And with this coat, the nail's gonna actually be worn just like this. If you love or like that really nice, pretty natural finish, at times I would wear it like this when I'm not in the mood for color, but we're gonna add some jazz to these hands. So one of my first colors is this really nice, pretty festive color. It's a nice rich red with some glitter, and it's called D Favor. That's the brand. Never heard of it, but I thought it looked pretty, so I wanted to try it. So I'm going to be using 3 colors. That, and then there is this M nail polish. The brand is M. Again, not sure who that is from, but that's the brand. And it's a mixture of red, white, and some other colors, sparkly stuff in it. And then this really nice shimmery nude iridescent type polish. And this goes over each of the nails. Now I could have gone with 2 coats, but I wanted to dry now, so I opted to only put 1 coat of the polish. There you have it. Now you have some pretty festive polished paws. Bring that up closer for you to see. A nice and simple way to do your nails at home. So thank you guys for watching, and hope you do have a blessed and wonderful happy holidays.